Two out of all of us.
Nah, facts.
Engineer?
Nah,
Just
school.
the school.
Oh yeah.
Remember, cause you had like went back.
Yeah, I was almost done.
We all were almost done.
I was not almost done. I still had 2 years.
Nigga, that's almost done.
That's not.
You have 2 years of college left before you have a degree. Like that's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's relative when you look at it.
yeah.
I probably had like 5 quarters.
That's like
That's pretty
A
close.
little over a year. Yeah.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep. And now we here.
So yeah, so it's live. How we gonna kick it off?
Yeah.
We running into it like that or?
Shit, what? Drop a song in that motherfucker.
Oh man.
What you got for us, Chris?
Y'all start off like that?
Yeah.
Music video importance. Are music videos as important?
Well,
Man,
first
we
they need
should.
Because they don't know nothing
like
about
that.
us.
Gotta do
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
introduction.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Some cut off though.
That light.
Oh, the light that was supposed to.
And does that matter?
Nah, it's
Hold on, what like?
There was a light up there that was
But that's why you needed a plug for.
yeah, which he don't have a plug.
You can introduce.
Oh, so the screen just cut out.
Yeah, the screen cut off for sure.
the screen cut off?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we was talking about.
That's the only thing that cut out? Because it did seem like it got
I mean, there's a light up there on the lines. You can't see.
With the red thing.
Right there.
Oh,
That was on.
oh,
As
it died?
Yeah, I think it died.
Damn. I ain't gonna lie, that was setting the vibe.
There's another one. So.
Nah, I feel
You
bad.
got another small one like that somewhere, don't you?
Nah, it's
No.
not like that.
It's all good. We're gonna work it out.
Yeah. But
I have a charger.
I do want that back.
Oh, you got a charger for that one?
Yeah, I forgot the other piece of the charger. I left it at home. I thought I had brought it.
Oh, okay. It's all good.
Man, we still got audio.
Nah, for real. And
Yeah, it
it's
sounds great now.
This nigga Trayvick swear he Joe Budden.
Yo.
He really does, bro. That's why I'm like.
He got the Joe Budden. He got
trying
the
to
Joe
ro-
Budden
he trying
like
to- he trying to-
slow rap.
He trying to Rory and all us, bro.
Rory.
Hey, yo.
Maul.
Face.
Y'all can relax. I ain't even saying nothing.
Just because you got a beard, bro, that don't make you Joe Budden.
Yo. Niggas want a beer so bad.
I don't.
He do. He was.
Yes, Mike. I love the baby face.
Yeah, I said, bro, I be seeing girls take testosterone and pop out with whole beards.
That is wild.
Like, what the fuck? Does it work on everybody?
That's wild.
He was trying to get out like, bro, you don't need a beer. You good, bro.
Nah. Some of us, I love it, bro.
No, I'm cool the way I am. But, the beards are different.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not fun when they think you homeless with your beard if you don't cut
That's why you got to keep that thing
About to
nice
say,
and
man.
it. Beer added like.
Don't be a bum.
clean. Keep it clean, man.
Keep your hygiene up.
That's crazy. I'll clean it and shit, but sometimes I don't get that shit shaded up. And they be like,
All right, we back.
oh,
Yeah,
we back.
man.
So,
So introductions.
yeah, you can introduce.
Shit, what's good? My name Trayvick. Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Come on,
We
man.
here. Hey, man. 3 friends met in school, bro. Ohio niggas in Georgia.
Can I do it?
Yeah, you do it.
please do it.
Yo, peace to the guys, man. It's day one, What It Takes podcast. A couple friends just talking about how we met, our endeavors along this music
Journey.
path and journey.
Yeah.
So, yeah, SkitzPittz, real rap, man.
Trayvick, you know what I'm saying? Eastland, East Side. You feel me?
Sidney Breedlove.
Breeding eternity. Like you
Breeding
talking about,
eternity. You know what I'm saying? They know the vibes.
Yeah.
They don't, y'all will, son.
You know what I'm saying? So, man,
Yeah.
we here.
We here.
Did you tell them how we all met? Our institute?
Nah,
Did
I
you say
mean,
that?
I guess we should just break it down on like how we all came about, and then where we at now, and then.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the most interesting thing about us, like, we all met it at AI at the very similar time, coming from different places, but we all born in Ohio.
I think we all actually
that's cool.
enrolled and started in the same year, too, right? 2014?
Yeah, 2014.
2014, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we were all in the same class.
And
Not classroom, but class.
right. And then it aligned like in a certain way, like just how, you know what I'm saying, we met inadvertently through the leaders of the new school joint.
Which was like this little group of students that were super talented. It was like started off as a talent show, and then they had like auditions and stuff, and you had to make the team.
It was a whole thing.
We were doing like radio interviews. It was this big show. But yeah,
so
me and Trayvick were both
in that
part of that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then later down the line, I don't know how did y'all meet? Because I really
I don't know.
I know exactly how me and bro met.
I
You
know
remember?
how we met. Yeah, but I don't know if it's like one of those. It's a how story.
Is it? Yeah, go
It's
ahead,
like,
tell it, bro. It was literally
like
how.
Method Man, Red Man was beside the cars. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So, in short, it was like that. Like we had probably been seeing each other around. You know how dudes become friends. Say what's up for a couple weeks, then one day you start shaking hands. Next thing you know, y'all chopping it up, and then you become cool. So it was like that. And I remember we linked. First day we linked, we just freestyle for like hours.
Like you said, it was like how high, right? Like,
yeah. So, and it might have been the same with you, Trayvick. Kind of just spoke, walked around, said what's up a couple times, and eventually, once you and Sid was closer, seeing you more, and we started vibing like that.
Yeah. My memory be blurry sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. So
I remember I ain't like Trayvick at first. He probably ain't like me either. I don't know. But Trayvick was like,
I ain't had no.
It was different.
Trayvick was like the asshole of the leaders of the new school, bro. He know what I'm about to say. It's like, so keep in mind, it's like 12 leaders of the new school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Trayvick's the only person, literally the only person that like cussed on the song. Mm-hmm. And granted, it's college, but it's like,
yeah, you still got to.
You know, they were trying to keep it clean. Like if y'all remember, like you couldn't have cuss words when you audition.
But I don't even know if I was there for the conversation about it. I just showed up.
I don't think it was one of those things where it was like it was an unspoken thing. Okay. No one said, hey y'all, make sure. Or maybe they did. I don't remember that part either. But I just know everyone kind of knew not to cuss. And then here comes Trayvick, being Trayvick. The only one cussing in the song. Everybody's like, bro, why is... So I just remember thinking to myself, like, bro, who is this? Like, I don't really... I'm like, bro, extra
rebellious.
But then we end up getting dumb cool because, not to go on too much of a tangent about the leaders of the school, but so again, it was like a competition the day of the show. And, they had like first, second, and third place. Mm-hmm. Trayvick came in second. I came in third. Mm-hmm. And so one of our great friends, she came in first. So they were like, okay, the top 3 winners, we want y'all to do a song together. Yep. And so we got in the studio. That was the first time Trayvick and myself got to really, really, really vibe.
It's funny too, because perspective, when we were doing that song, obviously, you already know the story, nigga. We writing, me and Paris writing the joints or whatever. This nigga's just freestyling, just sound like he just bullshitting until just playing around in the studio. Mm-hmm. And, we know he don't write. So I'm like, bruh, is this nigga gonna do something? I was I was probably looking at him how he was looking at me for the song. Man, bro, what the fuck, bruh? And then nigga go in there and do, I'm like, bruh. Now I look, because when I was writing, it took me a long time sometimes. Now I'm looking stupid to finish this dang on 8 bars because everybody else is done. I'm like, damn, goddamn. And back then I would take a super long time to get my takes done.
Well, to, take it a little easy on yourself. Paris and I did have 4 bars while you had 8.
Already.
But, just because we were going to go back and forth and switch up the bars.
Oh, yeah, on the second
that particular verse, yeah.
We never finished.
The song never completed.
I think during that time, that's the first time I might have seen Sid on your performance. Mm. That's when, because I wasn't a part of the leaders of the new
show. Were you at the show though?
Yeah, I came to one of the
The
shows.
show.
No, it was a
The audition.
I guess that was
The audition
part. I didn't
It
find
was
out.
deep in there, bro.
I didn't find out until later. You know what I'm saying? I used to like be at school, but sometimes I wasn't at school, so I didn't really find out about it till later. But I think that's when I first saw Sid, and yeah, that's what it connects.
We didn't say that part, but it was deep.
Nah, it was a lot of people in
It
there.
was like probably over 100 people
I was
in
like,
there
damn
just for the audition.
And they all wasn't at the school. It was like people from outside the school. I don't know
Yeah, it
if
was
you
like
remember that.
this was like a whole thing.
But that's how we all came about. You know what I'm saying? And then continued on our friendship and grew and built, and then landed us here. You know, in various places.
Yeah, then we found out, did we already say the part where we like all from Ohio?
Yeah.
Yes,
I think that was the first thing.
We were all born in Ohio.
Born in Ohio. Not from, you know what I'm saying? I'm the only, you know what I'm saying, true
no
Ohio
disrespect
player.
Ohio, it's a part of me. But
still Ohio
definitely
player,
raised in Georgia for sure.
I guess you want to explain what the podcast is about, or
yeah, I think yeah, that's a good segue, and then we can kind of I guess go into like where we are, currently. But yeah, so like they said, it's a podcast, three bros, very close, doing similar things but different things a little. But we all have similar goals in the end. So this podcast pretty much is about what it takes to succeed. I want to say we're geared towards music, but I think the lessons that come from this will be able to help people um, that are outside of music as well. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much what the pod is going to be about.
Yeah, and like just to say, like it's definitely gonna help everybody because like music is a spiritual thing. So like we're going through a whole like spiritual journey. So you gonna go through whoever's watching is gonna be going through their whole spiritual journey. Be able to find different ways to connect.
So I feel like music, man, like like you said, like this is being a spiritual thing is like some people may be easier than others, but from what I learned and our journey is like music, you got to go through damn near every single emotion, every single like part of life just to even get to a place. You deal with things like you don't feel like being an artist or you don't feel like rapping because this is happening in life or maybe this happened with your family or whatever. So you got to deal with everything else while still being able to create. So you definitely it's a spiritual battle because you battling with yourself like should I be doing this? Because you creating out of like thin air. You know what I'm saying? Like wherever you start from, like unless your father is already somebody or something like that. But most of us are starting from like thin air. So it's like super spiritual, super like combative with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just like figuring out which direction you want to go, how you want to do it.
And there's no time limit on it. That's the part that makes it so rough. But again, this is outside of music as well. Anything that you're building is gonna take time. And you never know how long it's gonna take. Sometimes, we've all been on this journey for a while.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a good segue into where we are now. If y'all want to kind of just go into where we're at currently. Like,
well, currently, I mean, all of us are, taking a very independent route, just really maximizing our potential. I think, like, we in the, I know about me, like personally, I'm doing like all the things I can, just trying to max out on what I can do. I see that in both of y'all right now. Like, whatever we could do a deal, whoever else can add is gonna add. But right now, it's like it's time for like to do all it takes.
what about you, Skits? Like what?
I mean, I feel like like Vic said, we are independent right now. I feel like with me, I'm just trying to do a lot more DIY things, like just more bringing more people onto the team versus outsourcing. I did like a lot of outsourcing over the course of the music career. I'm just hiring different videographers, like that, engineers. Now I'm just trying to just strengthen the home team in order to do it. But I feel like right now it's just as an independent artist or major sign. It's all about content. It's all about just staying consistent.
But tell the people a little about yourself.
Oh, okay.
Like, are you a business owner?
Oh yeah,
Like, where are you in life?
So
like,
where I'm at right now in life, like we are entrepreneurs as musicians. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we start from scratch. Some of us do it in different ways, you know. But business to me is business. So I got a moving company right now. Had that for like 8 years. So we've been doing that to pretty much fund the music. You know what I'm saying? As well as the lifestyle, the life and living and basic necessities. So the company pretty much takes care of everything, and just even that allows me to have freedom as an artist, so I could be able to focus and and just freedom. We can make as much money as we want, you know, because of course money is important in this industry that we're in. So just a small example or enlightenment about what I do and where I'm at in life. But what about you, Sid?
So yeah, following Skits, lead. I started a moving company as well. We haven't been around as long as bro, but we're on our way. Um, we're a couple years in on that. And as far as the music goes, I have a situation with an ex-professional sports player. I'm a part of his team. We're putting that together. So, you know, um, we've accomplished some things in the musical space. I feel like those will come up at a later date. But we're in a great place and we working. We putting some things together for sure.
In fact. Yeah. So
Yeah, man.
I mean we could jump into the podcast now, with the introductions out the way and pretty much Trayvick was saying the topic of this one is alignment.
Yeah.
You wanna elaborate?
Man, it's really, I think, just the alignment that it takes for us to get here. You know what I'm saying? So many different decisions have to be made, even outside of us, but also us. You know what I'm saying? Like we can go as far as back, ancestors, but even not even going to that far back, our parents and the decisions they made, and then shit, the decision we made as sperm cells to make it. You know what I'm saying? To be here and then go through different lives, different paths, making different decisions to lead us up to 2014 Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the different decisions, like just different connections. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could have just left it at me and Sid could have just left it at, like, I don't like this nigga. This nigga asshole. Like, fuck that. I ain't. So when they called, he could have been like, I ain't really trying to do no. You know what I'm saying? No winner's song, man. We did the show. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that just would have been the end of it. Or, you know what I'm saying, niggas, y'all could have just left it at a what's up. How many niggas from the school that, you know what I'm saying, it was just like, it's just a what's up, and that was it. You can't even remember their face now.
Yeah. I feel like off of that, just kinda add on to that, like how we could leave it at certain places. I feel like energy is always important with those things. Like even with you and your situation. Like I feel like just in this industry or in this life that we live, a lot of opportunities will present themselves. The opportunity ain't gonna work itself. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can say what's up to a person, but it's like what do we do to act on the energy that's presented? So like alignment is definitely important, but it's like, do you act on it? You know what I'm saying? Because we was our path aligned where we all crossed and we came and met. Like you just said, you know what I'm saying? We ain't y'all could have stayed mad, like, but somebody acted on it. Now could be fate, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we had no choice at all and acted on it. But I think we got some form of choice about it with just how we act upon it. I feel like that's important part about alignment. You know what I'm saying? When things align, we gotta act on it too.
And be in tune.
Mm.
'Cause if you're not in tune, then you may not act, and, you know what I'm saying, then now you're in a different loop of whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
In a different alignment than where you think you're supposed to be. But I feel like, that's a whole nother thing. I think it's all design.
Could dance with a lot of different things with the in tuneness and things, but yeah. So that's my take. jumping off of what you said, what you think, Sid?
I feel like I kind of covered it. No, not much more to say, honestly.
Yeah.
Alignment is just that, alignment.
We got my boy Chris behind the camera, man. What up, Chris? What you got, man? Got any
Are music videos as important to an artist's development? I don't think they're as important to an artist's development as they used to be. I do think that there's a very important place for music videos still once you get to a certain place. Like these days with TikTok and other means, to put your content out, you can blow up on TikTok, for example, without even having a music video out. And then it would make sense to go back and then have your music video. So, in a nutshell, I do think that music videos are very important. They're just not the first thing you see anymore.
But I mean, like, as far as like development though, like
that's why I say I don't think they're as vital to an artist's development as they used to. But you're saying you disagree with that?
I do disagree because I just think
as
like
they used to be.
Yeah, I mean, when we talking about development aspect, because development has nothing to do with like just the public's aspect, like the actual having a music video and an artist developing. Like,
what does development mean to you when you hear that? Because maybe we're perceiving the question.
That's very possible. I mean, just growing to be great as an artist in whatever lane you are. Like, most of the stuff you're developed in visually is like, I mean, as an artist, is visual, sound, sonically, all of that. So that's the visual aspect. So that's branding, all types of shit. You gotta have that, like, to be developed. Because there's artists who are like who blow, but they not developed artists, and they just going through their development in real time. Like
maybe artistically they're not developed, because then you
think,
have artists.
Do you think? Because I think visuals and music videos is also two different things.
For sure.
So do you think visuals are important for artist development or music? Because Brother Chrissy said music videos. If I could hear that, like, because visuals, it could be you walking down the street and then you put a sound over it and post it as an Instagram reel, get Instagram bonus or something like that.
Also, again, I got to piggyback off this. You may not have a video at all. That's what I was saying. Like, I hope they don't come for my neck in this, because I super respect, bro, and I'm not trying to, like, I respect the legends. But, like, that being said, y'all don't come for me. But I don't know as much as I should know about MF Doom's career, someone like that. But I don't, like, does he even have videos? I've never seen an MF Doom video. But there's certain artists that they don't even really have music videos like that. But they're super developed artists. And I perceived it when he asked that question as the development of an artist's career. Which that may not, because he didn't say that, but that's just how I perceived it. Like, I'm thinking of the artist's career, not necessarily like the artist artistically.
But what's your take, Trayvick?
Yeah.
Do you feel like, you said you disagree, but do you feel like they are important or not important?
As important, as they used to be.
Well, when y'all put it in that aspect, I mean, it's like, for me, you can't be a developed artist without it. Like, when you bring up MF Doom, like, that's an artist. Like, he has visuals, but people don't, like, it's not like they don't look at him like Hype Williams. You know what I'm saying? It's
exactly.
Not, but that was a thing back then. It kind of set off the tone for, like, it was a platform for it. Now, there's so many platforms for different things. Like, a music video, it's not even really a platform for music videos outside of YouTube, and people don't really go there for that in particular anymore. They do, but not in the same fashion.
Depends on what crowd you.
I mean, I could probably disagree with that. Yeah, it's like I'm on like play guy's advocate real quick. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I feel like they not necessary, right? But they are necessary. Because it's like, so follow me. So you got a song out, because, you know, this is like a real life example. You got a song out, a couple people hear the song, right? Y'all heard the song that you just dropped, yada, yada, yada. You had a song out a couple months, you drop a video. Now everybody has heard the song because you put a visual behind it. So I do feel like at some point, kind of like what Sid said, visuals are important. Are they like a super important factor, like music videos per se, and artist development? I don't think they are, because you could record a tree and put your song on there, record a river, put your song. So I think visuals are important, but music videos, it just depends. At some point, you do need to shoot a video. Like Sid said, you can always go back, shoot some. But I think visuals, for sure.
In music videos, like, I don't know. I just got to think for it. Maybe that might be the thing.
I like music
I was
videos.
about to say, we all love
I
music
think
videos.
they're important.
And we all take them very seriously.
Right. I just, like, I guess we talking to, like, people who, like, maybe think about getting involved, and, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody who might not even know, like, where to start. Like, man, I can't shoot no music video, so I can't be no artist. So, you know, maybe the music video ain't the first thing. Like, focus on visuals. You could do that with your phone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man, I don't know, bro.
you don't think?
It's kind of the last step.
I ain't gonna
But
lie.
you don't gotta put it on YouTube.
Cause think about it. Cause now we going more into it. You gotta think about it. Like, all right, we take a nigga who got one song right now, his first song ever, is dope, whatever, and we want to put him out. We're not gonna do no video.
Visual.
I'm saying no.
Trayvick.
I'm talking about a music.
Say that.
I'm talking about a music video.
We're gonna shoot. We're gonna put the music video out.
Yeah.
After the song is already doing what it's doing. Like, if I had a fixed budget, let's talk about that too. Because now Skit said,
you're right. I mean, that's not gonna be at the top of the list.
It's
look, real quick.
Didn't I kill the? It's not gonna be at the top of the list. That's all we're saying.
I don't want to talk about you know, the other thing we was all adamant on. We're not really here to talk about like other artists and things like that. It's not really like a hip hop thing. Like, we might use them as certain examples, but
I don't even remember that coming up. But I agree.
But two major artists had a song that just released. They did a compilation album. And one of the hot songs on there, they just recently dropped a music video for it. And it's a big song. You know what I'm saying? So they just dropped it. Like, not too long, like maybe a couple of days.
I'll give you another example.
But piggyback
off Skits. But there's a huge artist. No, I got another one then. There's a huge artist. Huge. Like,
we know.
Multi-platinum. Maybe, but he didn't drop a comp album. Okay. But huge artist, phenomenal artist.
Oh, yeah.
And
you're right.
You know, because of TikTok, we all know how that works.
Yeah.
You know, a song that dropped, I want to say maybe 3 years ago, you know, it started to rekindle on TikTok. He just shot the video for it. I mean, for that matter, you know, there's artists that maybe aren't as big as the artists I have in my mind, but, you know, artists that have done the same from like longer than that.
Yeah.
Almost 10 years ago.
I could say that
song
too.
Get Hot on TikTok, they shoot a video for it.
I feel like whenever a person do shoot a music video, it could bring more life into the song. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with
that.
that.
If they don't do it initially, let's say they do it 5 months, a year, 2 years. It was one dude that was talking about, he shot one 10 years later.
That's what I was saying.
And it brings more...
So I think the reason why I say that, though, is because it makes it easier to attract, you know, like, listeners to the song, especially in today's day and time. Like, okay,
it depends on your demographic, though. Because again, right, if you're a certain age and your world is TikTok, you can't say that for them. If they come across the song on TikTok, it's going to be easier for them to discover it on TikTok. You know, music videos, like, I don't know.
Because we talking about high, like, we talking about big budget or, you know, some type of budget music video. You know what I'm saying? Like, actual video. Not a one shot of you on your phone. Because I feel like that's part of, like, this debate. Like, visuals and music videos, two different things. So it's like, if we thinking about music videos, how important is that?
Just like the typical music. Like,
yeah,
even if it's shot on your phone, though.
Yeah, I mean,
personally, I just don't think
if you shoot a music video, but you know, like, music video to me is something that like it's production. Like even if it's shot with a phone, right? It's a official music video for this song. You know what I'm saying? Not just a bunch of different reels or snapshots and shorts of things with my song playing, even if I'm rapping to the song. But that's not a music video. It's like a, like content. It's like a visual. I feel like it's a line between visual and music video. What you think?
I mean, it's definitely a line. I mean, because a visual ain't just a video. Like photo shoot. That's a visual. Like it's a visual representation. So y'all changing my mind a little bit.
See, but we not here to do that. We just here to you feel me? Put out your mind and how you think, and then if we don't like it, we gonna argue you down.
That's an amazing question. Lead off, Skitz.
What you said? If you do got a budget, what?
What's your priority?
I mean, I think, like,
or even a few things,
as far as with visuals, or just in general. If you
for
got a budget,
upcoming,
I think marketing is number one, because that's like the biggest issue with a lot of artists that artists face. Is like you got the talent, you got the product, but you don't know how to market it. It's like we watching these movies right now. Everybody getting drugs, but they ain't got no network. You don't got no network to put it out. So I feel like marketing is like first thing, and pretty much branding. If I just shorted it down to two things: is branding yourself, being able to put yourself out every day. If you got a logo or merch, like people need to at least know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like on your site, they should know like what to expect. They should know when we see this is that, and just market that. Just being a face. I think that's what majority of your budget should go to, and then we go to the music videos and things when they're ready for that. But even then, once you put the music video out, you got to market. So I think marketing for sure is number one, in my opinion. What you think, Victor?
Niggas is not finna be calling me these nicknames just out of nowhere.
That's already stepped. I guarantee you they jump in the comments with that.
Hey, yo, relax.
We're going to have a different victual name every...
That's crazy. But I think content is like the most, like, content and marketing are like hand in hand. If I could only do two things, it would be marketing and content, and then I'll figure the rest out later. Like, spend more on marketing, but have more content. That makes sense. So, because you got to be able to be consistent in people seeing you. If that's your target, like brand, you know what I'm saying? But I think in today's time, it's like, yo, it's an overload of stuff. So one, you got to be creative with the content, but also be consistent with it, and then be able to market it. And marketing, if you got a budget for it, then yeah, allocate it towards the content, and then everything else is gonna, you can make money off of that shit.
Yeah, I think, but you may not have to spend as much money on this, but just prioritizing. I'm gonna go a little bit different route than y'all. I think branding is probably the most important.
You said you think branding is the most important?
Yeah. Just because when you have an identifiable brand that doesn't confuse people, I think it's going to be easier to market. So for me, the advice that I would give anyone that's taking advice from this is, really identify your brand. Goes back to the topic of this pod, alignment. But once you're aligned in that way, again, I think it would be easier to market. So I would say identify your brand, identify what makes you unique, really tap into that more. And even as you align more with your brand, I think how you market that brand will start to unfold as well. So I would say branding, marketing as well, like y'all said, and content. I think those are the three. But if I had to spend money on one, like you said, probably marketing over content. It's so easy these days to really do both. It's so easy to market. Some of these kids, like, they really have it figured out, like, how to market. They know exactly how to market themselves without any, budget going towards that. But at the same time, the content as well, they have all kinds of apps where you can, like, record yourself on your phone now and all that types of stuff. So, but if I had a small budget and I had to prioritize, I would say, really hone in on your brand, create the content, that you feel great about, and then put the money behind marketing that. Because even if you have one great song, I would rather spend the money to market that one great song versus spend the money to make 100 great songs, but then you don't have any money to market those 100.
I want to. You said something. You were saying like the kids, like they don't be needing like no marketing budget like these days. I feel like it's like that kind of with the visual music video thing. Like initially you might not need it, but later on down the line, like at some point, somebody gonna have to have some money to add to the marketing. Like I think one interesting thing that I saw, like Coca-Cola, they spent like over like some crazy amount of money, point something $1 million a year to market Coca-Cola. And it's like, who doesn't know about Coca-Cola?
They're the biggest.
Right.
So it's like, if they spending over $1 million a year to market, no matter like where an artist thinks they are, like, and that it correlates with the branding too, because Coca-Cola's brand. When you see the red and the white with the name in a certain italic, like it's Coca-Cola. So it's branding and marketing, like boom. But they spending so much money on it per year, so it's like if you getting like the views and the reactions and the interactions without, cool. But at some point, definitely like put the money behind it too to take it further. You know what I'm saying? Cause
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
What you got for us, Chris? Those were great. That's content. That goes into the content.
Yeah, that's easy money.
Yeah. I guess it's like second nature to us. It's like, I mean, one, if you ain't got a way to create the music, at your like the idea, especially in the independent level, is to be like vertically integrated, to be able to do everything and provide everything for your brand, for the people. So if you can't like create work on the music at will, then go back to the drawing board and like figure that first. And then,
especially like I said, with all these apps and stuff that they have these days, like I met this 12-year-old kid and like he has a whole almost catalog already that he's recording
on his phone.
On his phone.
I know they're gonna be like, bro, like what's it called? Band Lab or something like that.
Camp?
I know what you're talking about.
What you talking about?
Garage band. Whole setup. I don't know what it's called,
bro.
I seen it.
It's like Band Lab or something. Did anybody in know?
Is it an app though? Like
it's an app where you can like run pretty much recording sessions in your phone.
I've seen it though. I seen a little kid have it too. So
yeah, like these kids aren't going to the studio no more and going.
These kids make a whole beat on it.
Getting in Pro Tools, bro. They get right on their phone and record their song like in Band Lab or whatever it's called.
It's crazy.
So again, we're just saying priority. When I say content, we could specify.
Yeah.
Like he said, this is second nature, so we all know what we mean when we say content.
Invisible thing that's always there.
When we're saying content, we're saying your songs. You know what I'm saying? Work on your songs first. You should be able to find a way to do that. It's pretty accessible these days. Somebody, your homie or your homie's dad or somebody has some kind of setup where you can get your stuff recorded. And bare minimum, like I said, DIY, do it yourself. Get one of these apps, go from there. And then, but again, brand first.
Yeah.
Because before you even jump in your phone and record, what are you talking about? What do you stand for? What is your content? What is your music about? Who are you speaking to? Identify that, find a way to record that, and then take the small budget that you have and get that out to the people.
Yeah.
That's what I would say, with a small budget.
I was gonna say too, because you said your music is the content.
Yeah.
Some people could get confused and just put anything out as content. So I feel like what you also said as far as like, you know, the whole topic alignment,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, make sure the content that we putting out is aligned with who you are. That's not saying that you can't cut some jokes, be funny, you know what I'm saying? Whatever makes you you. But a lot of people, man, they might just do anything to try to get the views. And I feel like that's a like, you know, that's a confusing thing because now people gonna expect that from you all the time.
That's gonna open you up to just a whirlpool of just anything for real, like.
And it may work.
It may work,
but it'll be short lived most of the time. You know, so
yeah.
I think the things with like the most successful things in life have like parameters and structure with what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Like at first you start off was you know like crazy and chaotic, kind of like but then it's almost like giving birth to something. You know what I'm saying? Like the first interaction or whatever, y'all, people get down, do their thing, and then after the fact, the 9 months is literally building the structure of the baby. So, like, if you don't have that in what you're doing with your content or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just gonna open you up to anything. You just, people want to see me do backflips off the wall. Fuck it, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do that. I want them to hear me rap, but they keep asking for this.
It could correlate, you know, if you're a backflip type person. So I wouldn't say that, but you know.
And I say just tap into your uniqueness. You know, it can be daunting. Some of the things Trayvick says sometimes. Don't overthink it.
Because we know Trayvick flip off of walls though.
Yeah, he does.
Hey, yo, relax.
No, literally.
So I was like, hey, don't, you know what I'm saying? That could be your content though.
But he don't want to put in content. But we ain't gonna go there.
I ain't flipping off no goddamn walls.
That's a whole nother.
Nah.
Sometimes you need to keep some parts of yourself to yourself. Of close people.
Sure.
So.
But it's, you know, like Trayvick said, you know, just structuring your path and knowing like what is you, what you feel comfortable doing. Because you know, you do stuff that you're not comfortable. Like you might have to tap dance your whole career now. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't what you really trying to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, keep them coming, Chris. Right.
Shit. Hey.
Say again.
Is music enough?
Is music enough?
Just enough in this game?
Okay. I think it depends on. Okay, that's a great second part. Okay. So is music enough? And if it's not enough fulfillment, what would we personally branch out to? I think it starts with the individual. You know, again, to not call any names, following Skitz lead on that. I like that. That's gonna be the
nowadays. You just gotta figure
that's gonna be the trend of this pod. But like, yeah, there's some artists, you know, that are some of the biggest that we've ever seen to do it. And they pretty much have all their time still aligned in music. And then you have some guys that, or females, some people that cross the threshold of what we consider, you know, success and making it. You know, they can take care of their families. They have a pretty widely identifiable brand that almost immediately, as soon as they cross that threshold, go into other things. So I think it's about the person, you know, and again, going back to alignment, your brand, while you're doing it, it kind of starts there, you know. Are you doing this to make a living, to be able to take care of your family? Are you doing it because, you know, you love the art form? Is it both? You know, for me personally, I love music. It's like second nature to me. You know, I feel like I gave my whole life to this, you know, to pursuing to be where I am now, you know, and I continue to go past where I am now. But so me, you know, I do see myself branching out into other things though, eventually down the line.
Yeah.
You know,
executive producer.
Executive.
You
know, I don't know. Me personally, there's a lot I want to do. You know, I'm already an entrepreneur. You know, so different businesses, I could see myself acting at some point. You know, I've modeled a little bit in the past. I could see myself getting into that a little more in the future. You know, mentoring the youth, philanthropy. Um, you know, there's a lot that I could see myself doing eventually, but um, for me, I think music will always be at the forefront in some capacity in what I'm doing.
Man, yeah. I think music kind of is just like it's been a part of me just since the womb. Like my pops, moms, they did music before I could, before they could even think of me. So it was just there. And then I think when I dove deeper into my purpose, which is like a little bit more than just music, and I use that because it's like I'm exceptional at it. You know what I'm saying? Like I tried other things, like tried playing football. I was pretty cool. Um, Never really like got to play for a basketball team, but I'm pretty athletic. But it's like, hey, this nigga, listen, all right. But so, but music was the one that stood out when I wanted to like when I dived into like myself. Um, it was like, yo, oh damn, this has always been here. I used to, I would ask cousins and they like, bro, you've been rapping since you was a little kid about stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. I was like, that was one of the things that was just there for me. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take it to another level. I started just doing it based off of just the music, like, okay, just rapping about cool shit, listening to some of my favorite artists. And then when the purpose came, it was like, okay, I can use this as a stepping stone to get me to other things. It's like shifting the paradigm of the world because I always felt like, yo, this world is crazy, wicked. I ain't understand it. And I turned to music to like get my own understanding of myself in the world. So, but I definitely would do other shit. I kind of got off topic.
We probably
Yeah.
just
I,
get a story.
like, so nigga want to shoot movies and shit, all type of shit. Like, always been interested in just the arts because I think that's how you change the world. It's through art. So, music is enough, but not enough to change the world.
Well,
Skeezy.
I disagree with that last note. I think music is enough to change
By
the
itself, my fault.
world.
That's the end of the sentence.
I'm gonna just.
Nah,
But all right, real little small short. But I think music is enough to change the world just because everything is sound. Everything is like frequencies and things. So I feel like the right music could change the world with the right amount of people. Like it's all about, what the radio playing, stuff like, not saying everything has to sound a certain type of way, but it's like really just frequency. What type of vibrations you put out. But that's a whole nother subject. But for me, as far as music being enough, I feel like for sure, you know what I'm saying? Like music was my first heart, my first, my last type thing. So but I do feel like it is okay to like do other things, but it's also not like you don't want to do too many other things. It's a trick. Like it's always such a thin line. It's like you don't want to walk up to somebody like, yo, I do music and I do this and I cut hair and I do. You're like, yo, what?
What you trying to
So
accomplish?
I feel like if you're doing other things, it should kind of align with music as well. Like movies kind of correlate with music because they need music for the score for the film. You know what I'm saying? They like you need music involved, like when on this scene, whatever, like that. So I think if you're doing things that kind of relate with music, I don't think you should be like certain things. Like you shouldn't be an A&R and do music because it's kind of like counterproductive. Like if my artist makes a hot, like and I make a hot song, whose song am I trying to?
Hey, that shit happening though, niggas.
Conflict of interest.
That's what I'm saying. So something we shouldn't do, but I feel like music can't always be enough. Um, but I also feel like doing other things too, like for instance, like you might engineer and things like which aligns with music. But sometimes people could like box you in as an engineer. Like they only so sometimes it can get confusing if people think music isn't enough and I gotta do this too. I feel like music, we should let the music overflow first, or like at least get to like a high field place where then it could flow into other things. Cause it's like if I'm just like just getting in, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna go do that. We all gotta learn. Ain't nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no wrong way or right way to do it. But sometimes people try to place you in a box, like you a musician, but you good at pictures. And like, oh, that's the photographer. Bro, come take pictures. But you like, yo, I'm a rapper. So sometimes it'll box you in, but I don't feel like nothing's wrong with expanding your horizons. But I do feel like for me, music is enough, and definitely like do other things, wear other things. But I feel like you should have it overflowing, at least with the music, or like to a good space where people know you as an artist, or like if you make beats, that go hand in hand. Like J. Cole, like first name drop, but second because MF Doom, but so yeah, so things like that go hand in hand, and I don't think people will put you in a box as like that. But certain places that will try to box you in. So I say music is always enough, but if a person want to dabble in other things, just always make it clear that you're an artist first, if that's what you is.
I want to piggyback off that because they can put you in a box as a producer too. Yeah. It can go hand in hand. But I like what you said about
for sure.
I like what you said about just get to a place first. I also slightly disagree. Like when you said things that like are completely outside of music, like because like you said, you don't want people to think, do you do music or are you a barber? You know what I'm saying? I just think
he might be fine with the cuts.
He might be crazy with the cuts, but at the same time, it's like they'll box you in. So just get to that level first. If you are doing cuts and you're an artist, like say you start off with the cuts, build up a certain amount of clientele, this, that, and the third, and then go into music. Because even like the people that come get their haircut by you, they may not take you as serious. Some people might, but then they might be like, oh, bro trying to rap. You know what I'm saying? Or the other way around, like if you're a rapper. So that's a real thing. Like you said, like all of us kind of know that to an extent. People definitely like will box you in. But at the same time,
try to box
and
or try to box
you can't
in.
do.
But
I mean, you got to do one thing first though. Like you can't like it's like trying to listen and talk at the same time.
Sure.
Like he's saying with the cut, that's his point.
I mean, something got to be at the like you said, the forefront, what people see first. Like if in whatever realm. So like if you doing cuts to make money and that's it, that's all you doing, and you're not trying to include that into the music aspect of what you're doing, then keep them separate, like completely separate, because there's no need for like you can have clients who ask about it, blah blah blah. Why you cutting your hair? Oh yeah, my music, blah blah blah. But focus on the cut, focus on what that's going on, and then go over to the music. It's like a clear separation. When I'm out doing jobs and shit, whatever, I don't even. My name is David. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Trayvick or whatever the fuck. Like I don't want them to get confused. Now, if they go into the conversation, then now it turns into that. But at the end of the day, they're gonna think of me as what we met on, and I don't even want them to think about me in that manner until they see me on the stage or come to a show. It's like, oh, this is you, not, you know what I'm saying? You can see a separation.
I feel like it's all of us, but just the artists in general, bro. It's like because people, they expect like artists. We gotta have just that. Like we have that light, and they be wanting to see it all the time. They don't want to see that artists cutting hair in a barbershop,
for sure,
like that. So, until a person does like get to a place where the music is pretty much fun and everything, those odd jobs and things, you got to do what you got to do. But I just say always just know who you are, at least, because people try to box you, say you this, say you that, but they don't know you. You know better than anybody, so it's always staying true. And if you got to do your spill for the time being, do it. And then every time you go home, work on that artistry. You know what I'm saying? Work on that music, work on that content. And if you ain't got, marketing time, just hone your craft, like get your craft like up to par. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
That part.
Yeah. I was gonna say we got Brother House over here too.
Yeah, he said Young House.
Young House in the building.
Yes, sir. But Chris, man, that's some good questions, my brother. What you got for us, man? I can jump on this one.
I just want to, before I forget, I'm going to let you go
Nah,
first.
go ahead.
No, I just want to say this. I think the only reason certain artists, let me bag up, certain artists may not have dropped for a while. So you have to kind of be cognizant of that as well. Like, trying to compare, like, who's charting higher at the moment.
Yeah. I feel like me personally, I feel like I'm a real rap person. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the music for me is more important. But the way society sees things, society is like I see society as like wrestling crowds. You know what I'm saying? Like this week they love The Rock. But he do something. I don't know. He slam
McMahon. He slammed McMahon. They're like, no.
And it's like next week they booing him. So society with music, they more so on the image and the idea of things. Like, who's the hottest right now? Who's in the most blogs? That's what's more important to them. Now, is that more important in like future vision? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say it is or say it ain't, but I feel like real music is still very valuable because, look, like they just dropped top 50. And most of those names on there was not any of these like newer artists. It was like people who was like the first rappers. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like real music is still important, but in like the time frame and like the little time span that we in, people feel like the image and popularity is more important.
So to bring this back, right, to one of the previous questions about what comes first, what's on the list of priorities in terms of having a budget, I think this comes back to marketing. I think marketing is like, it's like branding / marketing for real. Like, to me, those like two go hand in hand in that #1 spot, because I think the main thing with her shit is that she's branded. So the fro, the curly orange fro, right, the little chain, the way she raps, how her voice sounds and shit like that. All of that matters to the people that's like she's like a cartoon character for the most part. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So people see you that particular way every single time, and it's like, oh, all right, it's easy to catch on. And now she got dressing up. Right. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a Halloween costume. You get what I'm saying? So I think that what was the original question? This one?
Yeah. Personality versus music content.
Absolutely. Personality. I mean, to people that really care and like passionate about music, then of course the music. Like, for me, it's music. But even if that is the most important thing for you, or what matters most to you, you still have to like compromise and make branding and marketing just as equal as the passion.
Definitely, but so like I think humans are fickle, right? So, like you said, people root for The Rock this week, hate him next week, right? So it's very important. Like, I think we hate to say that it's important, like image and personality, because that's like very surface level. But
I feel like
you can't.
Your personality is not surface level.
I mean, it's surface level because it's what you see. It's what you are presented with first. So that's why I would call it surface level. When you go deeper into like musical content. That's like the internal of like what people would connect with. You know what I'm saying?
Along with personality.
Yeah.
Like some of my favorite artists are majority of my favorite artists actually are artists that I connect with outside of their music.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is that before before that artist even becomes your favorite artist, or like an artist that you want to look deeper into, like just on the basic, I see this artist for the first time, like
How you're seen, how you're perceived, like the very
I don't really
first.
know anything about him.
But past that, like I dive into like interviews and stuff like that. Like I'm talking actually like people's personality, um, what they stand for and all those things that are kind of in the same vein. Like that's almost just as important as the music to me. You could make incredible music, but you have a shitty personality.
People are
Like
not gonna like it.
that's probably not gonna be one of my favorite artists. But
Yeah.
they're phenomenal at music, and I may even like their music. But you know, I always try to. I was gonna ask Chris this as well when it was my turn. My bad. I feel like I kind of
Nah,
jumped
go
in,
ahead.
but
It's all good.
I always like to ask, like, a little more on the question. Like most important as far as what, like, to an artist popping off, or like most important to us, or like, you know what I'm saying? Because it can kind of go
Yeah,
either way. Like if we talking,
I was thinking as a popping off aspect.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
because I mean, people want to like you, like
Yeah.
before anything. Like, all right, because there's two aspects. If it's different types of artists. Like if you no personality and just straight music, then you probably not even gonna know nothing about this nigga. Like, nobody knows
I
shit
don't know
about
too
the
many
week.
artists like
Too many
that.
artists. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I ain't telling you, not to cut your wisdom and your knowledge.
No, I'm glad because I was about to say somebody's name. I'd rather not.
But I want you to keep going. But I don't think, like, if you just think about it, like how many? Because I think it's all important. Us as real rappers or artists, like we don't think. Because one thing I respect about y'all, and I think that's what like led us to being friends. Like y'all can rap. As a person who put many hours in the craft, just learning how to rap, I respect artists. So me as an artist, I'm gonna be like, oh, the music first. But somebody who don't care as much, they just want to hear la di da di da. Not saying that that's what the person you said is. Just in general, they not really gonna care. They just gonna care about the hype. You know what I'm saying? Just
But that's the masses,
but
though.
the personality is slightly different because I don't think because that's what turned people off. Like, so they see you on an interview and you got no mind, no personality.
exactly.
So now you like,
Exactly.
oh, they like, dang, we done figured them out, and it's gonna be short lived. So I feel like is the question like, is it about longevity? You know what I'm saying? But
It's like a cake, bro. Like, yeah, I hate my analogies, but it's like
it's like a golden birthday cake.
This nigga big.
yo, it's like a cake though. Like, if the cake ugly, bro, if you don't like how it look on the outside, bro, you not gonna want to take a bite.
But it's good though.
It could be great. It could be amazing on the inside. Perfectly cooked and everything. But if the icing on the outside of that motherfucker and you got a decorative icing, nobody likes that shit. They gonna walk right past it and go to the next joint on the table. So it's
But
like
it's not good.
mm,
But
not for
sometimes
sure.
that could be the trickery, So it's really like if you look like that's the world that we live in. You know what I'm saying? Like if like brother said, brother House said, and Sid said with the branding part. Like if you just wrap it up like a good present, then people gonna accept it until they like actually, oh dang, till they like figure it out. But then that's where the personality come in.
See, I wanted to jump in there too, because what I was kind of speaking to was personality. Like he did say image and personality, but I feel like a lot of what y'all are saying is image
right
related.
I feel like
which
image
is
and
important too.
personality is like,
But like for me personally, like I was saying, like when I identify with an artist, image too, image is cool, but personality, those are two different things. They kind of are in the same vein, but they're two different things.
I feel that.
So image,
But like bro said, it's like a cartoon.
You gotta have an image too, but then there's certain artists that they don't really have that much of an image, but then that is their image. Yeah. that they don't have an image or whatever. So
type of artists and like the music. So I think when you like say you go to a label and the first thing is like what the music sound like, right? And if it's great music, then it's not much you're gonna have to do to dress it up to be able to market it.
But I kind of disagree slightly because these days the label ain't asking what does the music sound like. They want to see your numbers. They don't even care, bro. They want to see your numbers. Like your music. That's these days.
That's last.
And that aspect of that's last. Like your music could be nothing, but if you got
right.
Somebody walk in, first thing you like, okay, let's say the music. And all of us are artists, so we play the music, we like, oh, this shit fire, like this shit go.
Yeah.
I think the first thing for us would be, well, I'm gonna speak for myself. The first thing for me would be, I bet, like, I guess, look at the person, get a read of their personality, and then it's like, how do we market it? But I wouldn't think too hard about it because the music is good. I would want it to match the music.
All right, let me say.
You kind of got it backwards. Look, if you had an image, then you don't have to worry about how to market it. That goes back to way earlier in the conversation when you identify your brand first. Like when you have an identifiable brand, it's already marketable. It's laid out.
That's the first question. Like Brother Sid said, like they listen, like they gonna check out your music to see if you even, for sure. They're gonna, labels will listen to it just to see if you even halfway worth it. So you hard, all right, it could be great music, but is it marketable music? Like, so the second question they're going to ask, or they going to huddle up and how do we market this? Like, what audience? Because that's what it's all about. Identify your brand, who you marketing to, who want to listen to, 60, 65-year-olds, 18, like, what range are we? So they going to want to know who. And if it ain't marketable, they might sign you, and you might never get released. It's a whole lot of people signed to majors, and they living off that high. Like, I'm signed to, Warner or whatever, but nobody's heard of them. You know what I'm saying? So,
for sure.
So I feel like, with that, definitely they gonna ask like, is it marketable? So you might have the brand, to this, to that, but I feel like even it just comes down to the content of the music and like, is it marketable? Because it ain't gotta be real rap. It ain't gotta be. It's just got to be something that they feel like is current for the market.
What you got, Chris? Keep this thing moving along. Oh.
Yeah. You can market. So I'll say that. Yeah. So look, understand real quick, these labels, bro. Cause we all know. Like this whole circle understands how labels. Like these label people be robots. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them ain't. They only going off.
They don't even listen to the shit.
They going off algorithm
what
in the
tells
computer.
Them that part. That's what tells them if it's marketable. There is no more. Is this marketable? They know it's marketable because this has 10 million views already. You see what I'm saying? The metrics is what tells them if it's marketable.
But as an independent artist, you can market whatever you want.
It depends on what type of artist you're trying to be.
Labels just got bigger budgets.
The label is what's gonna put you.
They just banks, bro.
They're gonna put you. They're gonna put you overseas. They're gonna take you places that you, as an individual artist, can't reach,
or may not be able to reach at that time
because they own it. Yeah. They own it. We have to be very upfront about what we're speaking about. The labels own the music industry,
and they got
that's just what that is. So if you want to be that level, you're not going to be able to go around the companies that own the platforms that you even use to put your content out.
We gotta see the labels. Like,
you can be huge, you can have a very successful career and feed your family and be great off of that, but you will not be the top artist without signing to a major.
Because the labels is like, it's the machine that...
Name one.
Like, we independent.
I hate name dropping, but
like,
name one.
We independent for sure, right? But like Sid said, we can't act like this ain't what it is. Like, these labels are machines. Like, we seen the Matrix before, and they got those big... That's what the labels is.
I think they falling though. So
I mean, but as of right now,
but
like
it
could. The
no.
could.
This is getting good now.
The labels are falling to consumers.
But
I disagree with that.
Even still though, as of right now, like we can run our own thing. But even then, like even if we start a big independent label, it still has to be some type of conglomerate or some type of machine to have structured relationships. Because that's what the label can do. They got relationships with other labels or machines overseas. That's how people are able to get over it. So we all got to become machines. So in turn, we all got to become our own labels.
I mean, but we are like, okay, so I agree with that in a sense, right? We all got these machines in our hand, you know what I'm saying? So like the consumer, this is the only thing between me and the consumer in this time point.
It's what?
The phone.
And by that you mean you can pull up the camera app on your phone right now and go directly to the consumer? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I can find them.
Or are you gonna pull up your phone and go through one of these platforms?
Well, we could say it like this too, right? Because it's only so far the phone.
Come on, not like
hold up.
He's not just gonna pick his phone up and now
we get on the
directly
phone.
to the
We
consumer.
get on the phone, right? But then let's say you want to do shows. If you even trying to get in certain arenas, you gotta have a certain relationship with a certain label. You can't even record at certain studios if you're not with a label.
Real talk.
So we know, like, you could do a lot. We independent to the death. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't know.
No, we said that. I don't want them to think that we advocating for that. But you have to be very realistic about what's going on. That's how you go at it. Like I said, right? You can. I already said this. You can have a very successful career. It depends on what type of career that you want to have. But when you talk about being the top 10 artists, for example, we won't even say the top 1, but the top 10 artists, you're not going to go around the machines that own the industry that you're playing.
Like I said, you don't got to be signed. You could just have a relationship or some type of partnership too. So it don't have to be you signing to a label. You could
you don't have to sign your life away. Sure. I'm just saying some type of relationship with
for people who might not.
I'm just saying, like, okay, when I said earlier about like the labels like falling to the consumer, right?
Yeah, so I want to get more into that.
So we're consuming things daily, right? Through platforms. Now, platforms are not exactly labels, right?
There we go.
And
I'm glad you said that.
So look, they're not labels, and those platforms literally are built like based off of us.
Let me ask you a question though.
Or based off the consumer.
As you continue, what is a label?
A label is
that's a word, right? What stops Spotify, for example? No disrespect, Spotify, but what stops Spotify from being a label?
The fact that they don't.
We're just transitioning power. So when you say us as consumers, that's why I immediately disagreed with that. If Spotify becomes more, and we watch the same things, we're tapping into the same stuff, so we know that as power is transitioning to these streaming sites, that's why the labels have bought in, or however that works. I don't want to speak above my pay grade, but for real, into these streaming sites and stuff like that. We know that.
Yeah, but the sites, like their whole structure, UX design, all of that is based off of the consumer. So once we like, this is a power that we just don't flex or use because we don't even know it exists. But once we say it's over, it's over. As far as like cancel culture, if it actually was a thing, you know what I'm saying? That's, we could cancel anything.
It sounds like we would be just transitioning machines. So it's like
that's what I was trying to say. That's exactly what I was saying.
So it's like, we're not a label, we're a platform.
We're a streaming site. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. But look, in a nutshell, that's what I'm getting at. Like,
because I feel like that's the overall picture. Like, it's always until we independents become a conglomerate and come up with our own machine, and then even then somebody's gonna be on the outside.
But that's gonna be on the outside like they just do it.
But you're not giving us. That's why I think it's like not machine. It's not gonna be no more machine situation set up. And in that regard, it's gonna be more so from
just the individual
to individual consumer. Like niggas, I can if I get enough people, right, to sign up for something. I can text, like, I can text people. They can be subscribed to some shit that I have.
I agree. The only thing we're saying that I think you're kind of missing is that, because that'll work. That's why I keep saying you can have a successful career and that'll be great, but you're not going to be bigger than the machine itself. Right. It wasn't, can you have a good career? You're just not going to beat the machine.
Bruh, these machines is dying.
We're not saying but look.
They're transitioning power. Spotify's not dying. Apple Music's not dying. They're growing in power.
Bruh. Yeah. Half of all right, so half of this shit is financially backed by shit, and that's
felon too, and that's a whole nother subject.
That's a whole nother subject. So.
But I don't know. Maybe because we've been in this reality so long, it's hard for us to see anything different working. But it's like, it feels like even when it fails, even if it's a better thing or a good thing or a fair thing that replaces it, it's still gonna be some type of mass force or mass company. Because even now, with food, at first, everybody was like, they giving out bad food and processed, and now you got more companies coming out that's more healthier, on the healthy side. So they're being replaced, but by more healthy things. More, hey, we're gonna tell you about stress and get all this mindfulness and things like that. So it's being replaced, but just by bigger, different type. Like, I feel like it's always gonna be some type of machine, because how else do you mass produce to the people? You as one person, even if you have 50 million people in your text, like, it's a billion people.
That's what I'm trying to say. And until you create something, which Skits keeps saying this, I feel like we're going through a revolving door at this point. Until you create your own machine, because that's what it would take. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
I guess the reason why I say the own machine, I think, is from phone to phone, like, or device to device, from person to person. So,
but there's you're using another machine. You're using another vehicle. You're using another app to do so. So, again, until you create your own app or your own community, your own platform, you're just using another vehicle, another machine. And I think as long as that exists, just me personally, as long as those things exist, you're going up against the companies with trillions and trillions of dollars. Yeah. Like, you just have to be realistic. Again, that doesn't mean that you can't start your own platform.
And can't get big and
it gets as big as other ones. But you personally are not going to get on your phone. It's not even possible to get on your phone and just go directly to people unless, you have this huge text thread.
I mean, it's definitely shit. I mean, niggas get...
There's apps.
Bro, niggas get a whole Amber Alert just based off of the area you is. I mean, that's a real thing. We just don't have access to yet.
But
what did he just say? This why, and I love the people. The monitor died again. But I'm glad people are able to run this. You're saying what we're saying. We don't have access to it.
But we can.
But
like
we can build the access.
They got
trillion. I said you can build your own machine. That's what it would take.
Like, I think Brother House said, like, what's the difference? Somebody said, what's the difference between the labels and us? But it's the labels, and Trayvick said that they banks. It's the funding. Like, the money makes all the difference. Like I made Coca-Cola too. I made this drink, but I can't spend billions of dollars
to get to market the rest of the world.
So sometimes you got to tag along with these machines and things like that. So, like, I think the original question was like, is marketing type thing, like, like how labels decide what's marketable, and then them just pretty much going through they algorithm, because, like I said, they robots in the machine. Like, they not like soulful. I ain't saying like every single person in a label is like not like that, but just in general, a lot of these people, like, they detach. Like, they not talking to people who actually.
They're not on the ground floor.
Right, they not on the ground floor. We understand what's going on. We see what's happening. But even still, from the top to the bottom, everything got its place, and we see, like, okay, you still do got to have some type of like height. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be the best football player ever in the streets, but if you don't go try out for the NFL or play college, like, you're not gonna get the sponsorships, the acknowledgement, the things that you could get just by being plugged in with some sort of larger machine. Now, I ain't saying the machines are perfect. They can always, like Sid says, it's a vehicle. So anybody else can jump in the vehicle and change it. Hey, man, we doing it. Spotify, we ain't giving y'all 1 cent per. We gonna give you $1 for it. You know what I'm saying? That it could be somebody who changed the whole mechanics of the machine. But I think at the end of the day, it's always got to be some type of machine because that's how things run. Like everything runs off of systems and just routines and machines. Like that's why.
I mean, I agree with that. I said that
yeah,
earlier,
but I mean, we still rolling or?
I'm about to say, what you got, Chris? Cause we'll spend an hour on each topic. Going at us. These
we really done calmed down because like back in the day, the bikes would have been. You don't got that.
It's gonna get. I'm almost positive it's gonna get there with certain.
It's only the first one though. So, yeah, you know the screen is off.
His thing is probably. It's cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the top 50. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about the older guys?
In regards,
there's a lot of NBA players from back that are struggling.
But I mean, I feel
that's
like
evolution.
That goes
Inflation.
to that that just goes to that thing like
not making
it's
about a machine.
Hold on, my bad. Was that the question? We ain't even let him finish the question. We jumped in.
But it goes to that thing like just society looking for who's the hottest. So like if you didn't, if we as artists, I ain't gonna say you because it's all of us. If we as artists don't somehow set us up, but I'm gonna say this real quick because we can't never like act like everybody back then had all the answers. These were the pioneers.
Or house. He grabbed the charger to the MacBook.
Oh yeah,
it's over there. It really should. It's not. It ain't about to, but it's right there.
But these were the.
It's right there.
Which one?
Under the TV.
No, shit. Fuck that, man. This is real life.
Yeah, they gonna see house.
It's
right there. You see it?
No, it's
down.
white cord
on
down
the floor. There. But look, the top 50 guys, if they say they're not making money today, like people can't never be sassy.
I think it's inflation.
Hold on, let me just give our spiel, then you can rap. These people who they saying like might not be successful now, might not have no money. They were the pioneers of all of this. They laid the foundation for us. So what we know now, we only learn from people maybe past failures and things like that. So I feel like we can't never get ahead of ourselves. Be like, oh, what they know that rapping, but people now learn from people's mistakes. They're like, dang man, look what happened to these people who was here. Shit, brother, it's a lot of people who we seen this happen to. And it's like, how could that happen to somebody we grew up listening? Like, but they didn't have the knowledge that's so accessible on the phones and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't have it. So we can't never try to knock them for not being financially successful today because they, they laid down the path for it.
And it's the same system that we was just talking about that is the reason why it's like that, though.
Nah, we ain't saying
my thing is like it's more money than ever in rap now and entertainment.
Definitely,
that's all I was trying to say. So I ain't gonna say it makes sense why those guys are broke, because some of them I ain't trying to say
a lot of them ain't though.
But a lot of them ain't broke.
But what about the knowledge, bro? I feel like the knowledge, bro. So you think you the first rapper to pop? Because the people on there, like some of them, the guy I could kind of tell like what names they trying to say, but some of these guys, bro, they rapping in early 90s. Like they don't know nothing about. These are the first people who they probably signed the worst type of deal.
They probably didn't really know the value of it yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or didn't know it right. So now, after you done seen 100 rappers fail or go broke or do this, you like, man, I'm gonna think of another way. And then you got other machines being created that maybe give you better.
But that's only to this culture and our people. Like, it's like MySpace. Like was the first.
Like artists getting screwed in every genre now. I'm like, sorry, like
I'm definitely for my people.
I mean,
they niggas getting.
I disagree with that.
They is, but not as crazy. Like The nigga from I don't want to use because MySpace we don't even know where the fuck time at, but
probably somewhere shaded off.
You know what I'm saying? But he ain't nobody saying like, man, that nigga Tom ain't got no money. He made MySpace and it's it's over for him.
So or the people, he probably has money.
But look, comparing Tom, the creator of the machine.
That's why I'm like, what? Bro, you don't think Tom is straight?
To the people who just was rappers. Bro, they just another fish in the water.
They not just rappers though. I ain't gonna say just rappers. They was the creators of this platform, this culture.
Bro, we know from watching Temptations and Motown how people been getting finessed in deals and how these pioneers and
but I'm talking about the industry. I'm talking about that's like literally the stuff we're talking about. You can't be a pioneer or something in certain industries and just.
But it's like
not be straight.
So think of it's like this. It's like you got the person who made the NBA and then the person who started playing in the NBA.
That's why I'm like, bro, you comparing someone that created an app to like I'm like Trayvick. I don't know where my bro.
Like, he want to be that guy on the podcast.
Nah, bro, I'm just
Yo, I swear, out of here. In my head, I was like, yeah, Trayvick, yeah.
No, I'm just saying, no, because
he's identifying his role, bro. This kid's dying. Like, you are, bro. You just want to, like, what is he talking
about? I'm just being honest, because like, I'm just speaking in a social media standpoint, because they didn't make social media. That was just the first of its kind.
Yeah, but they didn't make the rap. They just started rapping and joined a system that was new. You know what I'm saying? Like Sid says, how many basketball players from back then? Like they didn't have a lot of things in place that they have now, so we can't never fault them for not being as successful as they could be 20, 30 years from when they started. Like that's, like you gotta diversify. Like the first rappers, Ice-T, Ice Cube, movies,
even the deals now.
Snoop Dogg, like they kept themselves relevant through other avenues.
Are they giving out NBA deals to rappers now?
So
that wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah, I said we definitely can't fault them for not being financially straight back then. Like even Tom came in the 2000s.
Well, I ain't faulting.
I ain't not
artists.
You,
I'm talking about the machines for real. Financially.
You know why though?
What's that?
But that's because most rappers, and we rap, see this is touchy. We gotta be careful with these type of topics. But that's because most rappers don't age with their content and what they're speaking about. The ones that do age, I almost name drop. Some of the legends we all can identify. They're still dropping albums that we're anticipating. They're almost as relevant as ever still. So I think when you're trendy and you kind of just go along with what's going on, I mean, yeah, there's no way that you can still be talking about what you're talking about at that time 10 years later. Like the fans that you had at that point have grown up. They may have families. Like what they're interested in has changed. So, either that or if you just really make timeless music, timeless cuts, true music, going back to the art, like we were saying earlier, the art versus the image and all that types of stuff, then it can last because it's like it has a sense of nostalgia to me, and people, no matter how old they are, remember that and can feel that and will go see those concerts, and sing along from songs that were put out 30 years ago. Yeah. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like a bubblegum type thing. Fact.
But it's the last part that you just said. It's the world that you want to make. So I don't think we're necessarily bumping heads because if you like earlier, I said right, it depends on like the artist. I always start with that. I started with that with in that segment as well because again, like if you want to be that, like you may not even be making the money. We ain't even go into that. How much you
Nah,
making being the biggest artist in the
I
world?
was gonna say the financial part too.
But you know, if you want to be that artist, you know, and you're the biggest artist in the world, image wise, and you know your face is plastered everywhere, that's kind of the route that you're gonna have to go. Remember, I keep saying there's artists that are, I mean, successful is an understatement. You know, they can provide for their families. They have fans who feel like they're off music, who feel like their music is timeless, who they've impacted other people's lives and made change in certain people's lives that will never get the spotlight that certain artists get, right? And they're probably independent as well. There are certain independent artists that have done that. But again, we're just saying if you want to be larger than a machine, you don't have to be larger than a machine to do that, you know? So
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna throw in too. Said I think like just about the people, the pioneers before. Like I think the biggest thing for me was just the like financial or nah, you said black people like us getting deals and things like that, and I feel like it's just not knowing the lingo, not knowing how to read contracts, not really being financial literate when it comes to things. You know what I'm saying? Like people just taking whatever. Hey, we gonna give you 10,000. We gonna sign you for 10,000. You ain't never had 10,000. All right, bet. You know what I'm saying? So just like not knowing what we get, or as artists, what we get ourselves into, because like we don't have the same knowledge as another race may have. Like now we getting more, like of course, but it's 2023. Like how long do we have to go before we learn? Oh, okay, that's what you do, or that's how you do that. That's how leverage yourself so you can get more money for things. And oh, so don't sign this deal so I could get all my money for my merch. So just little things I feel like over time we didn't know initially. Maybe some people did. Some people might have always had it together,
I mean,
but
the people on the other side, nigga.
now I want to make this clear though, because people from every walk of life that do what we do in this in this field, not just this genre, get screwed. I don't care if you what your gender is, what your race is. There's people, you know, it don't matter what color you are, that get screwed when you come into this industry. That's just what this is. Like that's entertainment in general. Boxers. We can go back, you know,
Yeah,
again, this
yeah, the
isn't just
entertainment
music.
industry.
The entertainment industry in
That's what I was
general.
speaking to, though.
That's what that is. Like we could there's huge pop stars, and I know some of y'all out there again can use your imagination and see who I'm talking about. Female, huge pop stars and all that who are getting their publishing and their masters sold and they don't even own their own, you know. So that's kind of just what this industry is. Like Skit said, I think it's about being financially literate for one, but just really knowing this you know, and I won't even just say this industry, but knowing any industry that you're getting into, that's just business in general. We can kind of just leave it like that. If you're doing real estate, you need to know your field before
right.
you jump into it. I heard Mark Cuban say that one time. Like, you know, there's sharks out
Nah, for
here.
sure.
And if you don't know your field, like they're gonna eat you
She's
up.
gonna get
And
ate.
that goes in any field on this planet, like when you talking about business. So
What
what
you
we
got,
got?
Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. Segues.
Yeah, nah, this is amazing.
Nah, for real.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's all the questions.
That's about
So
it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
guess we
what's that?
start, closing argument or closing remarks and things. Or
I'm excited.
Something else, Vic?
Man, I'm just excited to see where this takes us. We here now. I mean, this took a long time for us to like actually do this. We talked about it, but I think this is doing more stuff like this. And y'all may not agree to like the fall of like the labels and stuff, but it's happening. Doing more stuff like this is turning us like into like it was cable TV, and then now there's Netflix. You know what I'm saying?
And that's trying to make it all.
Exactly. Me and Skit, we get it, Skit. But now there's a Netflix.
But look.
And
they just transitioned power.
But they're adapting based off of us. But if we adapt, or like if we lead instead of them, okay. Because a lot of times, they're studying the consumer so they can be ahead. The consumer is just being a consumer, but we're actually giving them the information so they can be ahead of us. So it's like, okay, well, shit. If we take in and study ourselves and study just, okay, well, if I know that instead of buying a cable system, a cable fucking package, that I'd rather just like to pick what part of each thing I want to pick, then all right. Now, but they already know that because they looking at the metrics of, okay, people on cable and they looking at these lies, people ain't even on there. Okay, and then they're studying things to where it's like they could adapt quicker than us. So now when Netflix comes out, it seems like, okay, cable TV's dead, but it's just a new transition into the same broadcast, same network, same type of thing. But if we are ahead of that, now you in a different ballgame.
What ball game is that? When you're ahead of that, what do you take that information and do?
You take that information and you kind of, I think, just create your own communities and own things. You know
Which then is building another platform. You become the platform.
I think that's the thing. Because, I feel like we can be independent for a long time. But it's like once you get to a certain level, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't got to join them, but you're going to create something so big. And then you yourself going to start signing other artists. Like I said, you could be better. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to treat them like they treat them. So maybe the format of the way labels are running now is dying because people like, I want a partnership deal.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just gonna be decentralized. Like I think, like like if we look at it in like like banks versus crypto aspect, like how.
But you see how they regulated crypto. So it's
in the market, yeah. But
but that's the whole point.
That's a whole nother thing.
You're not gonna get
you gotta
bigger.
be ahead of them. You gotta be ahead of the curve.
And the only way to get bigger
till you make yours.
To get the money, and you gotta, and it just comes like as an individual.
But that's what decentralizing is, making your own, like, and having it on a public platform.
But I say this: as long as it's done, as long as that system is the way it is you know what I'm saying, they always gonna have a way to regulate it. Oh yeah, it's decentralized. You know what I'm saying? Like we're never gonna know about it. And then they like, oh, they making money over there. We gotta regulate this. They need to pay us some taxes. Now you gotta sign forms and wait. I thought this was decent. So it's like as long.
But it's up to the people though. So it's up to the collective to do that though.
But the collective, like I feel like just in that, man, we all in it. You know what I'm saying? Like we all figuring it out. We all working on magic. But we all inside of it. You know what I'm saying? Like we all inside of it. So we all like are subject to how it operates. You know what I'm saying? We could do big, we could create things. I ain't saying none of that. We in it. You know what I mean? So like you said, they figure out with Netflix, oh they ain't watching cable. Man, I think the funniest thing, like we talked about our businesses earlier. I think one of the funniest things, like we market the company on like a couple sites, right? Like multiple sites, and one person bought all of those sites.
Yeah, but we were talking about
and
that.
They still sell it like it's like it's different sites. So even Netflix, bro, that it could literally be cable all over again. And they just done rebrand it. Like these companies, they'll last so long and just change their name. Let's change our name and now we Verizon. But it's I ain't gonna say what it was because I don't want to be speak wrong or whatever, but it's really this. You know what I'm saying? So they'll always try to find a way. Like as soon as they see people figuring it out, they'll try to find a way to regulate. I'm not saying it's gonna be like that forever. But I feel like the only way for us to do it is, like we said earlier, just figuring out our own system and building our own machine to even be able to compete.
Certain things, we also got to understand that what we're speaking on is like generational. So until you create something that, in my opinion, until you create something that's like never been done before,
Nah, that part for sure.
like Google, right? The internet search engine, right? Like, what were some of the first search engines in general? Like probably Google, Yahoo, Google One,
Bing.
Bing, Google One, but
Ask Jeeves, right?
but there was nothing. It was there like pretty much at the inception of it, right? So until you, and then I'm using Google because you see how big Google is, but with things that have already, stood the test of time, like cable, telephones, like it happens because giants crumble. But look, like he said, and I don't remember either what Verizon, it's
But it was something.
Bell South or some
Right.
shit, right? Like that's, one of us should Google. Like it's probably been around since the 30s or something, 100 years. So I think to start a platform, you pass it down to your son. It stays, in the family or whatever. This, that, and the third. 100 years from now, the companies that we create will be giant companies. But to get bigger than them in their own arena, it's like,
And we talking about music too.
It's exactly. I don't know how you get bigger than a giant without joining forces.
You could create. I feel like you could create a Google right now or Microsoft, but we talking about raps. You know what I'm saying? So and they're independent. Like I know people right now are doing it independently, but us being independent, I feel like it'll just be some type of ceiling until you could shake hands. Like even if you just partner with somebody else, because they open you the doors that you can't open yourself. Like there's places that no matter how high you get, still like just with us being what we are, you can't come in. You're gonna have to have somebody speak for you.
You might even have the money at that point, and you still can't get in.
Nah, you need somebody
to
talk
that, though.
for you to even. You know what I'm saying? So it's the world we live in. We don't, we ain't saying we accept it. We gonna lay down, kind of like that. I feel like it is. I mean, I agree with Trayvick in the crumbling part and Sidney about the Giants crumble. I feel like we are destined to be giants, and we don't want it to be a machine. But I don't know. In this society, it seems like when you're trying to mass produce something, you need some type of grocery store or something to distribute everything out.
For me personally, bro, like they don't hate me for this. I'm just being me. I don't know that my goal is to be bigger than the machine, bro. Like this is gonna sound so cliche. That's why I hope they don't hate. But my goal is freedom. So and whatever that looks like, I like to speak in literal terms sometimes as well. They love calling us slaves, this, that, and the third, but again, we're still on this side of the fence, so we know what it is to still have to do certain things, to live the lives that we're living. While certain people that are quote unquote slaves, are able to see the world, travel, take care of their families, and X, Y, and Z. Like that's not a slave to me. I get it, in the metaphorical sense. You're a slave. You can't release your own art and all that. But then I know what it is to be closer to a literal slave. So for me personally, again, it's about freedom and whatever that looks like. I want people, if we're talking in art terms, I want people to be able to create, um, get that art to their village, to the people that like their art, be compensated fairly, whatever that person deems fairly is, for their art, and be able to, take care of their loved ones, see the world, plant that seed to help the next generation. So for me personally, like I don't really worry so much about being bigger than a machine, this, that, and the third. I just want people to do what feels right to them. You know, there's always going to be people that don't mind signing. There's always going to be people that you know will never want to sign. You know, it's just about what feels right to you. You know, and not letting the label like screw us, because some people do get screwed, and then some people have, again, what they deem as fair.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I don't really think too much about the machine. I think like I'm not looking to be bigger. I just don't want them in my way. If that makes sense. So they do their thing, I do my thing. That's kind of how I view it. Um, and a lot of times with the things like I intend to do, just voice wise, I don't want to be limited. Goes back to that freedom aspect that he was talking about. Like I don't want no limitations, and I know the easiest way to not be limited is to have that freedom to. It's like taking the responsibility for myself. Like the labels and machines and stuff, they help you out with certain responsibilities at a cost. So it's like because they may have the knowledge to do things or, you know, execute things quicker, faster than me as an individual as or a smaller team could. It's like, okay, that's cool, but is that what I'm doing it for? Am I doing it to get it to people quicker, faster? You know what I'm saying? In that fashion. Well, I mean, what are they using in regards to like in difference to what I'm doing? They on the same platforms, all this shit. I'm can be in the same places digitally at least to deliver the same things. It's just being able to fund it so or having the knowledge to do it in a different way.
I can
And
I can say this because, like I said earlier, like business is business, right? So the same thing with like like industry I'm in, like these companies. Like, why do people choose these large companies, you know, versus the individual person who has a successful, reviews and all of that stuff? And it's because people trust the company. Like, if you came out with a whatever platform today, it's like, yo, it's the hottest thing. And it could work better, it could be faster, it could, but they don't trust you. They trust YouTube. You know what I'm saying? They trust Google. They trust this. So, I mean, like just answering your question, you said like, what makes it different? Like, I feel like they just got the funnel, they got the tunnel to do this, and they got, like Sid said, just a generation. Like, you ain't got, they don't question AT&T or iPhone. iPhone drop a new phone. I don't even care what new things they got. I'm gonna just go get it because I trust the phone.
yeah,
Versus this dude just dropped the phone.
well, I agree.
Hmm.
In that aspect, I mean, I think trust is like one of like people don't really look at it this way, but it's a currency. So a lot of companies you can earn the trust easy.
You can.
Um, but I think yeah, they
That's
trust
just
them. They
that's just
trust them
me
first.
saying my why. I wasn't really disagreeing with you, but you was like, what do they have that an independent person wouldn't? I feel
It's
like
that initial trust.
yeah, that trust. Like, if I start a grocery store and put it right next to Walmart, who's coming to mind and who's going to Walmart?
And the resources too. Like, I don't know why we're not putting enough
Nah,
merit
But
on
but
that.
but but look,
Like,
but look,
Walmart has,
but
let's
they
just take a guess, 100,000 stores or something worldwide. Like,
yeah,
how do
and
you like? You
but
have
it
to
come back down to
understand
that
when
trust
we
though.
talking about business, but it's more than trust,
No, it's
right?
not, bro.
I'm gonna
Look,
tell you why.
go ahead.
You don't think this is, again, bro? This isn't friendly.
The
Like, they're
resources
not. They're
come
not.
into play with the trust though.
But I'm about to tell you, they're not. They're not. Uh, slapping. They're trying to execute you. I don't want to be banned. They're trying to. This isn't friendly. You know what I'm saying? They will come squash your company. You think you're finna just go step on Walmart toes? You may even have like you may even have enough capital, investors, whatever, to even start 10 grocery stores. But the second you think that, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a dog eat dog thing. And I think that it can happen again over time. But I don't think you're just gonna go up against Walmart Hell, Kmart just went out of business or something like that. No disrespect to Kmart, or they on the way out.
Walmart
like
losing to Amazon right now, and it ain't nearly as long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you mean nearly? To my as long as it's been around?
Yeah.
It because they created something different.
Yeah.
Remember we spoke to that.
Innovative.
You don't pull up to your local Amazon.
They got
right.
They got a couple
the same
of
way
marketplaces.
the same way Netflix is. You're not pulling up to your local Netflix like you used to go to Blockbuster. But no, that matters though, because I said that earlier. That's a whole different. If you create something different.
No, for sure. I'm just saying, like when he brought up the trust, like. But I think the main currency or main thing that, like the resources and everything that Walmart has is cool. But if I don't trust Walmart to actually deliver based off of whatever their resources is, then I'm going to go somewhere else.
But it's going to be hard to get as big as Walmart if you don't trust them.
Let me break down the resource.
I don't even know if you get that big, but go ahead.
So resource, I feel like, because I always feel like it's like two sides, like duality. So resources could be Walmart, finance, and resources could also be like, like they got refund policies, things like that. So like when we talking about like these labels and things, or just businesses in general, it's like trust is built off of like, I know if I go buy this MacBook and it don't work, I could take it back. Versus I go to this mom and pop store and they got a big sign on the door. No refund.
Nigga, if it don't work, you can't.
So I trust them, but I gotta make sure that, hey man, you sure this work? Granted, I could just buy it. But they only have that type of trust. They could just go in the back, grab another computer. They not limited. They got unlimited. When they be capping like back ordered, man, they got factories out the ass and countries with people doing this thing that ain't probably supposed to be doing this. But they got people producing it, mass producing. So I think that's the biggest thing, like with resources. They got mass producers. So we gotta have, like, bro, every city you go in, you see a Walmart. Every city you go in, you see a Apple store, like almost. Like they're not in every city.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because some smaller cities haven't got, but those main big companies, you going to see them. Every TV can get net, like, accessibility. You know what I'm saying? That goes along with, like, resources and things. So, it's a vast topic.
It's tricky for sure. It is.
Yeah. And even that changed the game when everything went digital to the CDs. You know what I'm saying? So, facts. I agree.
Yeah,
he been cursing a lot.
Oh, Trayvick, going back to the story how we met.
That's crazy.
I noticed this first word that he cursed. He's still doing it.
So yeah.
I feel like in our aspect, I mean, cause like we talking about businesses, we talking about this. I feel like it all coincide, cause music is the music business. So you gotta understand business in general. So, for me, I feel like, well, I will hope that this podcast helps a person figure out whatever it takes to do anything, like the type of mindset you need to have, it's what you need to look out for, not just music. Of course, it's built off of music. Um, but I feel like just whatever it takes to just achieve like your goals, you know what I'm saying? Like what it is you want.
The best version of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, success. To me, success is being the best version of yourself. And when you get there, you'll have everything in those different areas.
Yeah, yeah, basically. And then you'll feel like, honestly, if you trying to do something, whatever it is, like we don't know what it takes until you do what it takes to do it. Like it's like just to circle a little back to when we were talking about the earlier rappers and stuff, they didn't know what it took to be a rapper or do anything. And it took them going through those journeys, having to take these, losses and deal with this certain predatory industry that didn't really know existed in that fashion. And now it's like, okay, now we in a new age of like, okay, well, damn, life is literally figuring out what it take, like what numbers and movements and things and algorithm it takes to actually, to add a light switch, to create electricity, to be successful at bringing a thought to reality. I think that's like really what we talking about, and then we use music as a caveat.
That's a perfect segue, though. I was gonna say, like Chris told us, we can talk for days. But where do y'all see? I don't even know we answered that. Where do y'all see the pod going from here? This episode 1.
Man,
us?
Yeah, like us.
I mean, I think it could go far. I mean, I believe it could go far. I feel like thinking and believing, knowing and thinking different. But I know it could go far, man. Just like with anything else, just that consistency. We get on here, we drop some valuable knowledge or valuable information, and do the marketing part, get it out to the people. You know what I'm saying? The mass production.
using these platforms and shit. Loving
right.
on
But
up.
hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I'll say that too. Like, ain't no beef with the platforms
Nah,
because
for sure.
we gotta utilize it to the best of our abilities because they here for us to use. Like, a person could be mad all day, and I don't like the labels, I don't like YouTube, but they here for us.
And
Yeah.
as much as it may not seem like it, I'm grateful for platforms and things of that nature.
But we do want our own though.
No, for sure. I mean, that's what it takes to tap in. Man, so shit, it seemed like this is a good time for us to exit stage left.
So let's do it like this. Start with SkitzPittz.
Oh shit!
Tell the people. I don't know what he thought I was finna say.
Hey, nigga,
I was about to say we ain't doing that, are we? I was gonna say tell the people where we can do that. I didn't know that was a part of the pod.
I didn't know either.
I was gonna say they surprised me with that one. That's what we doing. I was gonna say tell the people where they can, where they can tap in. It's probably gonna be on the screen in anyway. But
you know what I'm saying, right here you can see it. Instagram SkitzPittz, SkitzPittz, and then SkitzPittz.com for everything.
Honestly, we could just play one of our records, like a release.
That'll probably be in post.
In the post. Nah.
That's why I did.
Is that who you're thinking too? So like, bro, come on, Trayvick.
I kind of like
I'm
gave the tunnel
one.
Like right here, like I'm already
right here. So hey, look, so right here.
You can follow me right here.
Follow me right here.
For sure.
Right here.
Sure.
Yeah, man. SkitzPittz.com, all of that, man. Real rap.
Okay.
Vic, man.
You know what I'm saying? Trayvick, the one and only East Sider that ever existed, and take it far. You know what I'm saying? You can find me on everything Trayvick. You know what I'm saying?
And that's not Trayvick.
Yeah, it's one word. It's Trayvick. One word. Family name and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the ladies say Trey for sure. I ain't gonna be mad if you say that. But Trayvick.
But you ain't gonna find them like that.
There we go.
So make sure to look right there.
Right here, Trayvick, you know what I'm saying? East side, you feel me?
Yeah, and then Sidney Breedlove on everything. That's Sidney with an I, SIDNEY, Breedlove. One word, Sidney Breedlove. And again, you can find that right
here. I hate what niggas do, right? Nigga, there's nothing here. All right.
That's what y'all think, man. That's episode 1.
Yeah.
Episode 1, yeah.
Yeah. I'm interested. Yeah. What is that? What is the effort?